Hello folks, I am back, and this time I'm here to talk about full-size firearms. I've recently put out a poll or a question regarding what is the largest firearm that you've carried concealed, and I like all of your responses and so forth. I know some people might disagree with me or have other opinions. They are all welcome because we all can learn from each other, and everybody has different opinions. And sometimes I listen to what you guys say and I say, that's not something I didn't think of or whatnot. So we can all learn from each other. So right now I'm going to talk about this, about the large size firearms and why I am starting to go back to full size. Let me just clarify and say full size. I'm starting to go back to full size firearms in a carry mode as a concealed carry. As you know, lately it's been really crazy what's been going on in the streets and so forth. So I'm starting to revert back to the full size firearms. Now, I remember before, back in the day, they didn't have all these different options of full size firearms. When I used to carry off duty firearms, I was carrying at the time I was carrying a Glock 17, or sometimes I was carrying my 5906 or 4006. So a lot of the firearms that we were carrying off duty were full size, but now there are so many options to carrying the whole concealed carry mode that's going on. There's different sizes, P365s, H and K, VP9 SKs, all different sizes. But I'm going back to full size because, for one thing, I like sight radius. Now, a lot of people will disagree or have a different opinion. I want to get the full sight radius so I can be a little bit more accurate. One of the other things is I want a full grip. And this is my Glock 45, and one of the things I like about it is a full size grip. All of you know that this is probably the 19 slide with a 17 size grip. And there's two things that does with that. I'm going to show clear on this one for the YouTube police. So one of the things is about this is, one of the advantages is, if because of the Glock 19 was so popular, people would be able to carry these in the pants, appendix style, without hurting anything, and that's what this has. But one of the things is the grip size. Now, the grip size, a lot of people have problems with certain firearms that have a smaller grip. Some people have monster hands. So that's why the Glock 17 size grip is great with that combination. So not only you increase the magazine capacity, because the 19 is 15 rounds, you have a capacity of 17 rounds. So now you have that there. Now, one of the important things is, I think there should not be any capacity lower than 15 rounds if you're going to carry a full-size firearm. And I'm mentioning 9mm at this time. So that's what I'm referring to at this point. So that is one of the reasons why I'm going back to full size. Now, this is kind of like a hybrid of full size firearms because, like I said, that particular slide. And I'm going back to this. For me, for people that want to carry these particular firearms, you'll have to be able to dress around it and deal with it. Unfortunately, right now we're going through a heat wave and so forth, and I'm going to admit to you, I have carried my smaller firearms, but when I go to work, I'm carrying a full-size firearm. There's different type of varieties of firearms and so forth that you can go through. This one is the PDP. This is the only firearm I've mentioned several times that I use that I'm currently using an optic and trying to train myself. You saw my other video. I didn't do so well in the walking transition when I was walking. I was normally trained previously to go to a point in transition from a standard position, but it is also good to deal with moving transitions, and it's very important. One of the things about what I like about the PDP is grip. The grip is outstanding. You can really grip perfectly with this without any slippage or anything like that. Whether you have wet, sweaty, bloody hands. Like I said, it is optic ready. So if you buy this, it doesn't have the optic on it, but you can choose to carry with an optic or without the optic. It does have that Glock's. It does take Glock sight, so that's a plus. Or it's patterned after Glock sights, so you can use Ameriglows like I have here. So that is a plus. So I do want that sight radius, and also the capacity on this is, I believe is 18 rounds. So that's another plus for this firearm. There are also other firearms when you are trying to put a large firearm. Now, this is one I said in previous videos. This is my favorite striker fire firearm, and it still is. For me, this firearm contours to my body properly. Now, when you're picking these full-size firearms, you're going to have to find a firearm that's going to be able to fit your body mold. Everybody's body is different. I tend to be a little bit on the slimmer athletic size, but there are other people that have different sizes. Some people may be a little heavier, and their girth, when they're wearing a particular firearm, it may make them uncomfortable, especially if they're driving appendix or whatever the case may be. It might make them might be uncomfortable for them. For me, I don't like to carry in the 3 o'clock position because I print very easily, especially with the style of clothing I wear. So that's why I'm the big appendix carrier. This firearm started out originally in 15 rounds. Once they invented the 17 round mags, I started putting those magazines in this. Like I said, the minimum I think should be 15 rounds if you're going to use a full-size firearm. And I do believe that the big advantage of these firearms is, like I said, the sight radius and your accuracy. Just practice with it and you'll be fine. And like I said before, you saw that video where I messed up in my transition and walking and shooting. So I'll be working on that in a future video. One of the other things is, now there are some people that have listed some firearms. I've seen people, believe it or not, I knew a guy that carried a Desert Eagle, 357 Desert Eagle. It was back when they had the baggy jean pants or whatnot, and he had a tailor-made in the pants holster. Now that is a monster to carry, which is really crazy. You know, that's a little ridiculous. But he was shorter than I am. He was about 5'5". I'm 5'7". So just imagine that. But there are other ways that I used to carry a larger firearm. It depends on the time of year. When I used to carry my 1911s, my 1911s were carried in the Galco Miami Vice holster. It's the one that you see Sonny Crockett wears in the TV series Miami Vice. But I carried that, and I used that. I had my extra mags and so forth. But the reason why there's no 1911s on this list, because like I said, you got to pick your own mission. And lately, the way things are going, you're going to need the firepower out there. I carry 1911s when I go to that particular neighboring state of mine. It does not allow me to carry anything over 10 rounds. So that's when I carry my 1911s. Now, just to give you an idea, this is my Glock 41. Now, this Glock 41, now you're probably saying this is probably not going to fit the mold. This is extremely large, but there are people that carry the Glock 34, which is roughly the same size as this. And when Glock put out the Glock 41, that people wanted a competition 45 version. So that's why I had this one. As you see, it's fitted with a KKM barrel, so threaded barrel. So you'll be seeing a lot of this coming up with my suppressor. So That's why this is out here. And the other reason this is out here is because I have a friend of mine. He used to work at another firearm store, and he recently is now working with our firearm store, Classic Pistol in Southampton, PA. So he's now there, and believe it or not, he carries a Glock 40. When I mean the Glock 40, I mean the Glock 40 model, which is the 10 millimeter version. It's about the same size as this, but I would say about an inch longer. So just imagine that. And I believe he is, I'm 5'7". He might be around 5'10", going into 6 foot. So he is able, and with it, I think his build is a little slimmer than mine, but he is able to conceal that firearm appendix, and he can also conceal it in the 4 o'clock position, which is really cool how he does that. He also has a holster made for 2 firearms, for 2 full size, and maybe also a compact. So he can, if he can conceal big firearms, I'm pretty sure all of us can. It's just the way how you match up the right firearm with your body build. So the point I'm making here on this video is basically the reason why I'm reverting back to a large firearm. No, I'm not going to be carrying a Glock 41, but these are my main carries right now that are full size. Right now, it's like I said, you got to pick the firearm for the proper mission that you want to do. And right now, it is a sad time in our country where there's rampant violence and so forth. I was trained that you would have a shootout, and your shootout is only going to last roughly about, let's say, in a matter of 5 seconds. And that was the average of a regular shootout. But today, these guys are brazen. They want to stay in the fight as long as possible. So you're going to see them come up with the fun sticks, which are over 15 rounds, and so forth. So you're going to need to have something that will keep you on the even playing field. And like I said, I love my 1911s, but like I said, you got to choose your mission. And like I said, if I carry the 1911s in that neighboring state where I have a restriction. But if there was no restriction, believe you me, I would be carrying something like 15, 17 rounds. So I just want to hear your thoughts on this. Just put down some comments at the bottom. And I really, really like all of your comments. Sometimes I put some posts up and I try to put some funny posts up. One of my recent posts was a lady that had an MP5 clone, elderly lady with an MP5 clone. And then there was another one. It was the Bugs Bunny's birthday. I like to put that little funny stuff in there. One of the things you don't know about me, I used to want to be an animator. So I'm a big Warner Brothers fan. So that's one of the things. That's why I put that on there. So don't think I'm crazy. I know I'm a firearms channel, but I like to throw in a little curveball in there to keep people know a little bit more about me. All right. With that said, stay safe. Happy shooting. #2A.